All right, with me now is Eric Cain with the Locked on the Vols podcast, here to talk a little bit about the Tennessee versus Georgia matchup this weekend. It's a big one. We got number one versus number two. I think everybody is going to be really excited. I am shocked that this is an afternoon game. Are you?
Well, not really. I figured it would be the 3:30 CBS slot, and you can get prime time later on as well. But I think everybody in the SEC wants that time slot, so I figured Tennessee Georgia was going to be it. So not too shocked, but I think both teams are going to they'd be ready to play this game at 5 a.m. if they had to.
Yeah, I'm sure they're just so ready to go. So, what is the general sentiment of the Volunteer fan base right now as the Tennessee team heads to Athens?
Yeah, a lot of confidence, obviously a lot of excitement, but there's a lot to be confident about with this football team, especially with the defensive performance against Kentucky. Yeah, Kentucky's not gonna lead the SEC in yards per game or touchdowns thrown or anything like that, but it's a solid football team, and you knew the offense has been doing what Josh Heupel's been doing since he got here, been putting up points, and Hendon Hooker and Jalen Hyatt are this unreal connection right now. But seeing that defense step up, forcing three takeaways, finding some new guys to play in the secondary where that secondary has been depleted. It's a really good showing. So a lot of confidence right now for Tennessee's fan base, a lot of excitement, and I just think everybody's ready to get to Saturday.
How big of an advantage do you think it is for Georgia to be bringing it back home in their home stadium?
I think it's huge. Tennessee is obviously fared well on the road so far this season, but if you look at those matchups, Pittsburgh home crowd, that was good, but it's not going to be what you see on Saturday. Down in Baton Rouge, it was 11 a.m. kick local time. So a lot of those guys, they were not even awake yet. And then once Tennessee jumped out in a hurry, they didn't come back after halftime. And Tennessee's performed well on the road, but this is going to be a really unique environment. I mean, it's the best of the best. It's the reigning national champions. It's Georgia. That fan base is incredibly passionate, just like Tennessee's fan base. So I think it's going to be critical for Tennessee's offense to operate through the crowd noise. They've been pumping in crowd noise at practice this week, and they're used to that. And a lot of times they go off signals anyway, so that's going to be good there. But it's going to be an environment. It's going to be a good one, and Tennessee's going to have to overcome that to continue on and remain undefeated.
Speaking of that Tennessee offense, Jalen Hyatt just set a national record for the most touchdown catches in a season at 14. So what kind of threat do you think the Georgia defense is going to be for him and the Vols offense?
Well, speed never had a bad day, and Jalen Hyatt has got a ton of speed. But I mean, obviously, it's him and his progression, his development. But it's Josh Heupel and Alex Golish's ability to scheme up the matchups. They do it on film. Him and those two, including Hendon Hooker and the two coaches, they watch film together on Mondays, and they kind of identify some individual matchups that might work out a little bit, and then they kind of take it back to the practice field and they figured it out. I mean, they had a linebacker schemed up on Jalen Hyatt twice when he busted free the other night against Kentucky. And Alabama could not find an answer for Jalen Hyatt, and even when they tried to take it away and they went dime personnel, Tennessee just runs the football. So that's what's been most impressive. But Georgia's secondary, solid experience. They got a lot of playmakers back there, good linebackers. It's going to be another challenge, but with this, the way that Jalen Hyatt is playing football right now, it's almost like only Jalen Hyatt can stop him. So we'll see if Georgia can slow him down, but he's obviously going to be ready for this challenge because it's going to be a big challenge. Georgia's got a really, really good defense.
What do you think the number one thing that the Volunteers need to be focused on as they go and take on Georgia?
Yeah, I would say just continue to be you. It's an offensive-minded football team, of course, and Hendon Hooker's been playing out of his mind. Continue to mix up the tempos a little bit. Don't turn the football over. The big matchup in this football game, and Nolan Smith's not going to be playing in this football game, or at least it's looking doubtful per Kirby Smart on Monday, and that's a huge loss for Georgia. But I think the matchup in this game is going to be Tennessee's secondary linebacker play against that Georgia offense. Georgia offense puts up a lot of points. It puts up a lot of yards. Stetson Bennett, everybody continues to doubt him, and he continues to shine. Brock Bowers, a tremendous player, trying to eliminate the run, I think would be huge to say, all right, if you're going to beat Tennessee offensively, you're going to beat it with Stetson Bennett and Brock Bowers. And then you see if Tennessee can take their chances. So try to eliminate one of those things. And I think Tennessee's really good against the run. Understanding Georgia uses their tailbacks in the passing game an awful lot. Kenny McIntosh is, I think, the third leading receiver on that football team. So that's what I'm going to be looking forward to. I mean, of course, you want to see some points and you want to see Tennessee's offense, but I've got faith in Tennessee's offense that it's going to go and do what it does. Just because it has so far this season. I'm intrigued to see what Tennessee's defense looks like coming back from a great performance against Kentucky, but knowing Georgia's offense is much better than Kentucky's offense.
What would it mean for Tennessee and Coach Josh Heupel, who's only in his second season with the Vols? What would it mean for them to take home this win?
It'd be huge. I mean, you've already had a couple of mile marker wins for this program for Josh Heupel here this season. You know, 16 of the last 18, you lost to Florida. You got that win in Knoxville. You lost the last 15 to Alabama. You got that win in Knoxville. Can you go on the road and pick up a big win against the nation's number one team in Georgia? That's up next. It would just be huge. It's been a long time, a very long time since Tennessee has swept its three big rivals in Florida, in Georgia, and in Alabama. Even in 2016, where Tennessee had the Hail Mary to beat Georgia and it took down Florida, it still lost to Alabama. So it means so much to this fan base. And I mean, Josh Heupel can do no wrong right now, obviously, but it would just kind of further cement him into saying, okay, this is a guy that could be here for a long time and not just that rotating cycle of coaches Tennessee's been under for the last decade plus. So it'd be a huge win for the program. Obviously, for this football team, it would be huge because it remains undefeated. It kind of goes past its next big test on the schedule. And you want to take every game week by week, but you look behind Georgia and you've got Missouri, you got Vanderbilt, you got South Carolina. Those are very winnable football games for Tennessee. So this would be a big win in a number of different areas for Tennessee, with now SEC championship game, college football playoff aspirations on the line.
So you think if they win this game this weekend, then they're going to go undefeated through 12?
I mean, if you win this football game, there's no reason to think Tennessee won't go undefeated through the regular season, right? You're already taking down Alabama and the big challenges, LSU on the road, Florida. And if you take down Georgia, I mean, again, no disrespect to Missouri, Vanderbilt, and South Carolina, but you're just a better football team than those guys. So there's no reason to not think that Tennessee wouldn't run the table in the regular season. But I know that this team continues to stress throughout media availabilities through the week, and the coaches do as well. You take it day by day, take it week by week. And the leadership's been really good for this team. And I think they've done a nice job of keeping everybody grounded and just focusing on what's ahead, to where you're not looking ahead to the next opponent. And so I think that's one of the main reasons why this team has been so successful this season. But absolutely, if Tennessee takes down Georgia, there is no reason why Tennessee should lose another game in the regular season.
Thanks so much. That is Eric Cain. I know we are all looking forward to this matchup. Eric Cain with Locked on the Vols podcast.